Greetings to all and a very warm welcome to this course, that is Econometrics Theory and Application. Here is the introduction of this course. Course title is Econometrics Theory and Application. Course code is ECO 501 and there are 3 credit hours. Prerequisites. There are some prerequisites of this course. For example, student must know the basic concepts of statistics, probability, and partial differentiation. A student must have the theoretical background like economics and finance, because in econometrics we try to test the theory, predict about the relationships in that theory, so you must have the theory in background. That theory can be economics, finance and management. Now comes reading material. We will be using 2 books for this course. First one is Introductory Econometrics, a Modern Approach by Woolridge, and second one is Basic Econometrics by Gujarati. Today's lecture contains following modules such as the basic definition of econometrics, that what econometrics is, why should we study econometrics, and what is the methodology of econometrics. Starting from the traditional perception of econometrics, that is, econometrics is the branch of economics concerned with the use of mathematical and statistical methods in describing, analyzing, estimating, and forecasting economic relationships. Traditionally, it is assumed that econometrics is the application of statistics in economic theory. As there are various concepts in economic theory, such as demand and supply, market models, and national income model, and we want to test them, analyze them, predict about those economic relationships. So these predictions must be based on some proofs and evidences. In order to test, analyze, and to forecast, we used some tools of statistics when econometrics started evolving. Basically, in background, we have economic theories such as demand and supply and a market model, and we need to gather data related to those economic relationships and variables about which we are thinking, and then we need to provide some kind of support to data, and that support is provided by empirical analysis, which mathematics and statistics provide us. So we can say that econometrics is the branch of economics concerned with the use of mathematical and statistical methods in describing, analyzing, estimating, and forecasting economic relationships. It means that we are confined to economics and predict the economic relations. Tools of statistics and mathematics will be used to test the relationships. But now the view has entirely changed. Nowadays, different softwares such as Microsoft Excel, Stata, Oxmatrix, eViews, SAS can be easily available, and we can analyze and predict economic relationships and variables without any hard effort. So traditionally, it was thought that econometrics is the application of statistical and mathematical tools to test and analyze economic theory. Let's see some of the examples. First one is, are oil prices and the value of US dollar correlated? Here you have to provide some empirical support. Mere guesses will not work here. There is a process for empirical support that is known as methodology of econometrics. We will collect data, then analyze it. Hypotheses will be created from data and then it will be tested. For that, there must be some tools and techniques, and these tools are borrowed from mathematics and statistics, and economic theory is also present in the background. If you want to check the relationship between oil prices and US dollars, you have to collect data related to it. This is the mandatory step, that if you want to check the relationship between two variables, you have to collect the data related to that variable. Then you will put the data through a process of empirical testing, and that process is given by statistics and mathematics. The aim of applying that process is to justify your opinion that it is not based on mere talks, but the empirical evidence is present behind it. For example, if we hypothesize that US dollar and oil prices are linked, so we need to use statistical and mathematical tools to test our hypothesis and provide evidence about possible rejection and acceptance of that hypothesis. Here is another example, that is, how are liquidity and profitability related? Normally, we think that liquidity and profitability are related. As you know that certain increase in liquidity has positive impact on the profitability of business. But if liquidity ratio exceeds the certain limit, then profit of the business will be negatively affected. And now this is the hypothesis. We don't have any evidence. So here the role of econometrics is to provide support to these statements. First of all, we have to collect data, test it, analyze it, and forecast it. So in order to analyze the relationship between liquidity, we need to use econometric models such as linear models or non-linear models. And we will discuss in our next lectures that what are linear models and non-linear models. Now coming to the third example, that is, what are the determinants of growth? Growth of different countries depend on multiple factors. We can say that growth of a country depends upon efficient labor force. There are many determinants of growth as well. Now the question is, what are the possible determinants of growth? We will start from hypothesis. We will hypothesize that Maybe growth is dependent on labor force. Maybe growth is dependent on capital stock, or maybe growth is dependent on human resource development. These all factors came from some theory. That means that there is some theoretical evidence behind each hypothesis. Economic theory suggests that growth is dependent on labor, capital, and other inputs. So, this theory supports and it provides idea by applying tools of mathematics and statistics. Empirical evidence will be provided to our hypothesis that growth is dependent on labor force and capital stock. So, in terms of econometrics, we will say that labor is significant in providing higher growth rate, or capital stock is significant or not, or one variable has negative or direct relationship with the dependent variable. You will come to know different terminologies, such as I used the term dependent variable, evidences, independent variables, significance, economic relationships, etc. And I'll be explaining all of them one by one in our coming lectures as well. As I was telling you, traditionally it was thought that econometrics is the application of statistical and mathematical tools based on testing, analyzing, estimating, and forecasting economic relationship. This traditional view is limited to economics, and you know that econometrics is the subject learned by students of marketing, finance, business, and even sociology and anthropology. So, some changes are required in the definition. Now, what are the proposed changes? There are some reasons behind the change. As you know that numerous softwares has been developed, such as MATLAB, Stata, eViews, Oxmatrix, and Microsoft Excel, etc. And they provide the quality and speed of work as well. And secondly, subjects become more wide. Now, econometrics is applied on finance and on some other subjects as well. Now, econometrics is not a confined subject. It becomes a wide subject, and it can be applied on business subjects and on anthropology and sociology as well. It's widely used in other fields as well. Now there is a modern view for econometrics, and according to the modern view, econometrics is no more limited to economic theory but is now used in subjects like finance, marketing, management, sociology, anthropology, etc. And secondly, instead of saying only statistics and economics, we are applying tools from computer science as well. That means that we are using softwares that are generated by computer softwares, by computer science subjects. So if you change the definition slightly, instead of saying that econometrics is the application of statistics and economics to economic theory, we can say that this application can be applied on any theory. That theory can be from economics, marketing, finance, anthropology, sociology, etc. Now, econometrics can be defined as a subject that takes idea from any theory such as management, finance, economics, etc., and uses the tools of statistics and mathematics and also computer sciences to test, analyze, and forecast the relationship of variables for any background of theory. So now you can say that economics is no more confined to one or two subjects. Now we can apply a econometrics model to all the fields, in all the fields. Here is the another modern view. Using the tools of mathematics, statistics, and computer sciences, econometrics analyzes quantitative or qualitative phenomena from economics or other disciplines based on evolution and development of theory by recording observations based on sampling related by appropriate methods of inference. Here is the flowchart. A few boxes are mentioned over here. One box provides you statistical and mathematical tools. Examples are regression, derivatives, partial derivatives, and on the other side you are seeing computer softwares, this box. In that there are computer softwares that use mathematical and statistical tools, so you can have here an arrow from mathematical and statistical tools to the computer softwares, and then these tools are applied to the theory from economics, marketing, management, finance, or other disciplines such as sociology and anthropology, as I have discussed these before. And when all these boxes are added up, the end result or the outcome would be econometrics. It means that using the tools of mathematics, statistics, and computer sciences, econometrics analyzes qualitative or quantitative phenomena based on evolution and development of theory by recording observations based on sampling related by appropriate methods of inference. And this definition or the modern view is explained by this flowchart. When we sum up all these boxes, the end result would be econometrics that includes mathematical and statistical tools like calculus, regression analysis, and computer softwares that use those mathematical and statistical tools, for example, Microsoft Excel, Stata, SPSS, etc. And then theory from economics, management, marketing, finance, or other disciplines are backed by these tools, and then it provides the subject that is known as econometrics. Students, that's all from our first lecture. We have studied about the basic definition of econometrics. In our next class, we will be starting our lecture from why should we study econometrics. So thank you so much.